Hey everyone, Erick Stakelbeck here. Today on the Newscast, breaking news. A major archaeological discovery in the Garden of Gethsemane. You won't want to miss this. Stick around. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to a special Christmas Eve edition of the Watchman Newscast. We've got a major archaeological find for you in Jerusalem. Yet another stunning discovery dating back some 2,000 years to the time of Jesus in a pivotal New Testament site, the Garden of Gethsemane. Now, our good friend, Watchman contributor, top tour guide, and Israeli archaeologist Danny the Digger Herman is joining us from Israel with all the breaking details. Before we get into it, I just want to encourage you to subscribe to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. We are bringing you the kind of cutting-edge, timely information that you just won't hear anywhere else, certainly not in the mainstream media. When there is a find like this in the Garden of Gethsemane at all places, we think you need to know. So, Danny the Digger Herman joins us right now from Israel with all the breaking details of this amazing archaeological find that brings the Bible to life. Take a look. Danny the Digger Herman, welcome back to the Watchman, my friend. It is always great to have you.
Always an honor to be on your show, Eric. How are you?
Yes, the honor is all ours. And one reason for that is, man, you always have this incredible information about some new archaeological discovery, groundbreaking discoveries in Israel. And Danny, this is an exciting one. You emailed me yesterday and say, hey, I've got something for you. And what we have is at the Garden of Gethsemane. Yes. Obviously a pivotal site in the New Testament and for Christians. We have, I would say, I guess, a double discovery here. Danny, tell us about it. Tell us what Israeli archaeologists found at the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yes, this is very interesting times that despite the corona, there's actually quite a lot of development, and with it comes also archaeological research. And a lot of new discoveries are being made all around the country, but this one is so exciting. At the Garden of Gethsemane, the Catholic Church, the custody of the Holy Land, is developing a new underground passage between the garden and the Kidron Valley, because the Kidron Valley is believed to be the site of the final judgment at the end of times, and the church wants it to be more accessible. And while they were doing that dig, they made two very interesting discoveries. First of all, they found another church, another Byzantine period church, which was quite a surprise because the current church at the Garden of Gethsemane is on top of a medieval and a Byzantine church. So what's another church doing? That current
church, Danny, is, they call it the Church of All Nations, the Church of the agony in the garden, right? In the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yes, it's a big 1924 church, Italian in style, built by donations of different nations, hence its name, and it's over the rock of agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. And when it was built, they found the remnants of a church from the time of the Crusaders and from the time of the Byzantines, which we knew from historical records of their existence. But what's another church doing?
Byzantine church, about 1,500 years old, I guess?
Yes, 4th to 7th century. The new church is dated to the last part of it, like 6th to 7th century. And in the news press, they released just yesterday, they said, we don't know what to make of it. There's an inscription in it, but it's an inscription in Greek that is praising the sponsors of the church. It doesn't mention what is this church commemorating, if anything. But I think that maybe that church relates to the Last Supper, because we do have some Byzantine period pilgrims mentioning the commemoration of the Last Supper next to Gethsemane. So there's definitely more research that needs to be done. I didn't excavate that church, so I don't know all the details, but I would investigate that possibility. But that's just one of the discoveries. Beneath the Byzantine church, much, much deeper, under bedrock, they found a Jewish ritual bath. And Jewish ritual bath with those steps leading into the water zone is typical to the time of Jesus. Okay, Eric? This ritual bath is actually from the 1st century, from the time of Jesus, and found right next to Gethsemane.
2,000
What do
years
you
old.
make? Yes, but I think that that might be very important clue to the function of Gethsemane, which its name already implies. Gethsemane is really Hebrew gat shmanim, the oil's press, the press where you make oil. What oil? Olive oil, of course, because you're beneath Mount of Olives. And olive oil had a great need, especially for lighting. Now, if you have a ritual bath next to it, it means that maybe it was done in purity because it had a sacred function, a sacred destiny. Okay? Now, you're right next to Jerusalem. In fact, you're right opposite the temple. Maybe
Second temple.
the olive oil produced at Gethsemane was intended to light the temple of Jerusalem. Maybe its menorah was lit from olive oil coming from Gethsemane.
Wow.
Okay, the ritual bath makes it at least a possibility. And I found that to be an amazing discovery. It's not the first time that we found ritual baths in the context of oil presses and wine presses. There's actually one in northern Jerusalem where I used to live like 20, 30 years ago, where you have these combined again. And also then they said maybe this was for the purpose of sacred use, offerings in the temple. And here you have one at Gethsemane itself.
Wow. And this is a very significant discovery, just because of the site, obviously great biblical significance. But in the Garden of Gethsemane, Danny, which is in the Mount of Olives, obviously, had there been a lot of similar kind of discoveries, or this is kind of groundbreaking in a sense, right, for that particular site?
Yes, from the Byzantine period, we know of several churches which started sanctifying the mountain by Christians from the 4th century. Up on the top, you had the Eleone Church. Now it's called the Paternoster. You have the Dominus Flevi Church. You have the Chapel of the Ascension, Garden of Gethsemane, Mary's tomb. But finds from the 1st century are pretty scarce because it was an open area where you grew olives for olive oil. And here in Gethsemane, we have the first time evidence of some daily use there in the form of a ritual bath. And Byzantine period pilgrims also documented round stones. They associated these round stones with where the disciples fell asleep when Jesus went to pray by himself. But without being aware of it, they actually probably documented components of an olive press. Unfortunately, today, we don't know where these big round stones are. They were taken maybe as souvenirs by pilgrims, but that and the ritual bath is pretty significant testimony to the existence of an olive press in the time of Jesus at Gethsemane. Now, if Jesus was in Jerusalem in the autumn, I don't think anyone would let him stay there because that's the high season. But Jesus was in the spring, right, around Passover. No one was using Gethsemane. It was an abandoned site, so he could stay there, he and the disciples, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and the timing of this discovery, Danny, hey, right after the end of Hanukkah and just a few days before Christmas, pretty
Yes.
cool with the timing as well.
Yes, and it's not the only discovery related to olive oil. There's another discovery they just announced for Hanukkah, made not too far from my home, where they found a potter's workshop who specialized in oil lamps. And what was so nice about this discovery, it was already made like 70 years ago in the British Mandate period, but the location was forgotten. And now doing some salvage archaeological work, it was rediscovered. So there's a lot of miraculous archaeological discoveries related to olive oil these days, which I find to be more than coincidence.
Yeah,
Okay?
Danny, the Bible is coming to life. You and I have discussed it many times here on the Watchman Newscast, on the Watchman TV show. The Bible is coming to life in these times. And we were talking before we started the interview, these discoveries, they just keep coming and they are significant. Yeah. What's next? I mean, what, as someone who has their ear to the ground, you're in Israel, obviously, what are you looking at next? What could be kind of the new terrain in archaeology? What period may we hear something about soon?
Someone actually just sent me this information. It's a rumor for now. It hasn't been officially published, of a new research on a bulle. A bulle is a seal impression that was used to sign documents. And there's one that has been studied recently with some new insights resulting from that research. I still need to review it myself, but I'll sure will let you know.
Yeah, we will. I have a feeling we may discuss that on a future Watchman telecast. Hey, Danny, thank you so much. As always, the one and only Danny the Digger Herman, Watchman contributor. Danny was great as always. And I have a feeling we will be with you again very soon with some new incredible archaeological discovery in Israel, because they're coming so fast now, it's hard to keep up.
Amen. And I believe in 2021, I'm also going to have you physically back here with me, and we're going to keep documenting more amazing sites.
God willing, I will be with you again soon, my friend. God bless, Danny. We'll see you soon. Thanks again. Amazing stuff. Thanks again to our good friend Danny the Digger Herman for joining us. You can check him out at DannyTheDigger.com. Folks, we say it often here on the Watchman Newscast. Every time we have one of these amazing archaeological finds, when you combine the scientific archaeological proof with the truth of the Bible, you have an unbeatable combination. We see it once again in Jerusalem with these amazing finds, a double discovery at the Garden of Gethsemane, just in time for Christmas. Pretty cool. Hey, speaking of Christmas, before we go, you may know that we've got this great offer. We are partnering with Arza to bring you Arza boxes from Bethlehem, the place of Christ's birth, during the Christmas season. Perfect timing. You can go to arzabox.com, use the discount code Watchman18 to get an 18% discount off your Arza box subscription. Now, we've got some of the products here. We did an unboxing a few weeks ago here in the newscast. You can check it out in our archives. But real quick, if you missed it around the first time around, just a quick refresher course. We've got incredible candles made in Bethlehem by small businesses, artisans, entrepreneurs in Bethlehem, the town of Christ's birth, coming to your doorstep just in time for Christmas. What a great conversation piece, a great Christmas gift for the Israel lover, for the Bible lover in your home. Got a great candle here, and when I smell this, it makes me kind of sad because it smells incredible. It smells like Israel, and it makes me miss Israel. I haven't been able to travel to the land in about, 10 months because of COVID. God willing, we will soon. Great handcrafted ornaments, Bethlehem olive wood. Talk about something unique on your Christmas tree. Someone says, where's that from? You can say it was made in Bethlehem. Pretty cool. Also, we've got the tastes of Israel, some chocolate. You can see this box was opened. Hint, hint. I kind of dug into it already with my daughters. And lastly, and these are just 4 of the products. There's about 10, I think, in the box. It's pretty amazing. Pretty cool. This plate, Bethlehem, we are displaying this for Christmas in our home right now, as you get another gander at it. Again, all these products, that's just a small sample, all made in Israel. So you are fulfilling the biblical mandate, Genesis 12:3, to bless Israel and the Jewish people. We don't partner with a whole lot of folks here in the newscast, as you might have noticed, but when there is a company, an organization we feel strongly about their mission, we are glad to come alongside them. So Arza is great. That's arzabox.com, Watchman18, and the offer ends on Christmas. Today is Christmas Eve, so you still have about 2 days to get in your Arza box subscription. Use a discount code Watchman18. Hey, thanks for joining us today for this very exciting archaeological news, bringing the Bible to life. Join us tomorrow. We will be coming to you on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve during the day, before you go out for dinner, for church, you can check us out from Bethlehem, from the place of Christ's birth. We will be on the ground. You won't want to miss this. Really will get you in the spirit if you're not in the spirit already. Until then, thanks for joining us today. God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace.